Good morning, class 5. So it is our online science class, and let's start chapter 2. It's habitats of animals. So you know that different animals live in different places. A habitat is a special place where a plant or animal lives. Like human beings, animals also need food, air, water, and shelter where they and their young ones can live safely. We all want to live safely, and we all need all the living organisms always need the food, air, water, and shelter too. So, uh, habitat is a special place where a plant or animal lives. Remember, okay? Some animals need a large area, like a lion. Lion lives in forest, and some need small area, like a rabbit. Rabbit lives under the ground, burrowing a small hole in a small hole. Fish, for example, needs clean water to live. Without clean water, we know that fish can't live without clean water. A fish always need clean water to live. A grasshopper needs a big space. Grasshopper is a small insect, but it needs a big space where it can hop and gets leaves to eat. Usually, we can see grasshoppers in some where plants and trees are more. Okay, and where it can hop and it gets leaves to eat. Grasshopper always eats leaves. There are different types of habitats on earth. There are different types of habitats on earth, such as forests, deserts, mountains, polar regions. Polar regions, that means North Pole and South Pole, where it is very cold. Oceans and freshwater. Oceans are always with salty water, and freshwater, rivers, ponds, lakes. These all are of freshwater. Okay, so different types of habitats on earth are forests, deserts, mountains, polar regions, oceans, and freshwater. And what is habitat? I'm telling you again. Habitat is a special place where a plant or animal lives. Okay? Now, next is terrestrial animals and their habitats. Animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals. So terrestrial animals are land animals actually. We call them as land animals in simple words. They are land animals, such as lion, bear, giraffe, etc. They are terrestrial animals or land animals. The 4 different types of habitats of terrestrial animals are: firstly, forests. Forests are home to 80% of terrestrial animals. 80% of terrestrial animals lives in forests. Animals like lion, tiger, and bear live in caves. And some animals like monkey and bird live on trees. You know that the animals who can live on trees, they are like monkeys and birds also. And other animals, lions or bear or the tigers, usually they live in caves. Some animals make underground burrows in the forest floor. They make small holes, that is underground burrows, that means small holes on ground, and they live within it. Such animals are rabbit, snake, earthworm, rat, etc. Next, so forest, we already learned about the habitat, forests, animals habitat, which is forest. It is a large area. Now I'm telling you about deserts. It is hard to find water in desert. Desert is not much common on earth. There are not many deserts on earth. There are deserts, but not many deserts. But forests are much more than deserts. Deserts are not common. It is hard to find water in a desert. In desert there are sand dunes, cactus plants. Plants with thorns are called cactus. So they are the water, hardly you can find water there. The area is almost dry, sandy, and receives very little rainfall. Scanty of rainfall are there, very little rainfall, and so for that the plants are thorny and cactus-like plants. Cactus-like, not cactus-like. The plants are called cactus because they are thorny. It is usually very hot during the day. In desert region, the days are very hot and cold during the night. In the night, it is very cold. Extreme type of climate we can find in deserts. Hot in the day and very cold during night. Animals like camels that live in deserts have evolved to survive the harsh and scarce water conditions. That there are animals like camels can survive in this in such type of climatic region, in such type of dry region. Okay. Actually, that camels can store water in their hump. They can store water there. For that, they can walk miles after miles without drinking little water, as they store water in their own body. Okay. Now, mountains. The temperature on the mountain tops is very low, so it is a cold habitat. As mountains are higher in altitude, so the temperatures are very low there. There is very low temperature, and so it is very cold on the mountain. On mountains, the oxygen is also scarce. Oxygen is also, the percentage of oxygen is also very low there, and the sun is very harsh. On the highest peaks, the environment does not support life. On the highest peak, the altitude is very high, and there is scarce of oxygen, and temperature is very low there. So animals like black bear, mule, deer, bighorn sheep, etc. can raccoon can live in the lower part of the mountains. They live at the lower part of the mountains. You can see here some animals, mountain animals, bighorn sheep, mountain goat, and always they have some very much fur on their body to protect them from cold environment. Okay. And now is polar regions. Okay. Polar regions actually in North Pole and South Pole of our Earth. Extreme North Pole and South Pole of our Earth. The polar regions, their polar regions, and life in the polar regions of Arctic and Antarctica is very extremely difficult. Arctic means North Pole and Antarctica is South Pole. Okay, and extremely difficult there. Strong and cold winds blow there, and the temperature is very low. Animals like penguin, seal and walruses are able to survive on that extreme cold conditions. And actually, on polar regions, the Arctic and Antarctic regions are the lands are frozen. Okay, and it is very dry and frozen throughout the year. Throughout the year, the area is very cold and it is frozen miles after miles, and no plants can grow there, as there is temperature is very low. No plants can grow there. And animals, what animals? I told you, penguin, seal, walrus. You can see here polar animals, penguin and walrus. They can only able to survive within these extreme cold conditions. The thick fur on these animals, like polar bears, also provides adequate warmth to their bodies. Nature gives them the sweater, as like sweater. Their body is covered with fur, and it gives them warmth. Okay. And you know, penguins and walrus have layers of fat under their skin, and these are called as blubber. The fat layers of fat under the skin, their skin, is called as blubber, and the blubber helps them to keep warm by storing energy. Actually, warmth gives us energy, so that as the fat gives them warmth, they can live in this extreme climate. This is how they survive in extreme cold. Okay. Next is aquatic animals and their habitats. The animals that live in water for most of the time of their life are called aquatic animals. Aquatic animals are water animals. As the terrestrial animals, I told you that they are land animals. Aquatic animals are nothing but water animals. The two different types of aquatic habitats are ocean. Firstly, I am telling you ocean, discussing. The 5 oceans are there, you know, on our earth: Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean and Southern Ocean. Southern Ocean or Antarctic Ocean. You can call them also as Antarctic Ocean. And the water bodies cover the 2/3 parts of the earth's surface, you know. The water of ocean is salty. Ocean water is always salty. And whale, octopus, jellyfish are some water animals that are found here. Okay, jellyfish, octopus. And now is fresh water, the freshwater animals. These habitats have water of rivers, lakes, ponds and ditches. Animals like duck, goose, fish, crabs and turtle are found here. Some animals like frog, alligator and crocodile live both on land and in freshwater habitats. These animals are called as amphibians. They can live on land and water too. So that they are called as amphibians. Who are they? Frog, alligator, crocodile. You know, insects falling in the water become food for fish. Now is hibernation. 2 terms I am telling you about. Hibernation. Firstly, some animals go into deep sleep to save themselves from severe winters and survive without eating much. They can survive without eating much. This state of animals is called as hibernation. Bear, lizard eat more food than usual during the autumn season, and so that they can store fat in their body and use it during winters when they go into hibernation. During this period, their body temperature drops and the rate of breathing slows down. Snakes also go to hibernation, you know. Next is migration. Some animals and birds move to far off places to stay away from harsh weather conditions or look for food and safe place for their breeding. This movement of birds and animals is called migration. When to avoid some extreme conditions, when they go part another part of the world or another region, then it is called as migration. The African elephant is the largest land animal, you know. It migrates to find food during the wet and dry seasons. India, you know, is home for many migratory birds. It is estimated that every year over 100 species of migratory birds fly to India. Some of the birds that fly to India, flamingo, cranes, common teal, etc. You can see here migratory birds, common teal and flamingo. Okay. So, these are hibernation and migration are two process to when by this process animals avoid some extreme condition of climate or extreme cold or any extreme type of climate. Here is a chart you can remember. Following is the distance traveled by some migratory animals. Look, grey whale travel distance is of 12,500 miles they can travel. Caribou 700 miles. Monarch butterfly 2000 miles. Such a tiny insect. Can you imagine? They can migrate 2000 miles. And Chinook salmon, a fish, 900 miles. Arctic tern 11,000 miles. And sooty shearwater 20,000 miles. Okay, so this was the chart. Try to memorize this chart and read the chapter thoroughly. And already we completed the chapter, and in our next class I'll discuss the question answers on this chapter. Okay, so till then, bye. Stay safe and secure.